Good morning, YouTube. It is the 1st of April, and we are back out on the Massey 300 disassembly. I worked a little bit off camera last weekend, and I was trying to get this here off, and had some success, kind of. This is on a tapered shaft and should be coming off of that housing back there. Pardon the lighting back here in this thing. I managed to push the shaft out, but in so doing, and it didn't separate, so it's going to be interesting. I have in the parts book that should separate. I'm going to have to take these bolts off. I got a couple off, but we're going to have to get up under the combine to do that. But I want to walk you around. When I pushed that shaft off, I am amazed that it didn't break that casting. It ended up pushing the auger completely over here, and you can see now that is bent out. Turned the bearing in there, and I was not anticipating that hard of a push. It is amazing to me that still has not come off. We're going to have to get to the bottom of this, and because that is a bearing I definitely want to replace on the other machine, replacing all of the bearings, if not all of them. About all of them. So that is the goal today, is to see if we can get that auger assembly out off of this side. Trying to get this side cleaned up, and so we can get over to this side. And I doubt we'll get to the saddle tank today, but we're going to try. Well, I've got the area cleaned up. Got me a piece of carpet to lay on here. I got to get right up under there. Got a vice grip holding it there, and see if I can get the last two bolts out. I'll report in when I have that finished. Well, I took the 4 bolts out and got it off. It is tapered just like the book shows. That is a tapered shaft. I really don't know why we had such trouble with this. I'm going to get this in the vise. This is not sold as one piece. It shows it in the book separating. So we're going to have to, maybe that goes inside of there. So that's pressed in there. We may have to get it in the press and see what we can do. So that should separate, and we'll see what we can do there. I would like to get to the bottom of this because we are going to be changing this. As you can see, that's just dust and dirt that was jammed in here behind it, and that's not going to be good for the long term on the other machine we're keeping, that being the original bearing. We know that there's going to be issues eventually there. Okay, looking at the book, we're right up here. You can see there's the bearing inside the casting and a snap ring to hold it in place, and there is a shaft on the back side of part number 40, and that would be this part right here. So this is seized in here. This does not even spin. Like, if that combine would have been able to be used, that would have been a problem right there. So very possible that it's a problem over there. And that's something we're going to need to address in the long run. Now, we know because of our practice, we would take it off here and then pull it off with the puller and not push out on our elevator up there. So that's why we're learning on disassembling this one, so that we don't create more work for us when we're on the machine we want to keep. What I'm going to do now, for the sake of time, is take out these 3 bolts here, and then this is just a flanget bearing that's no good. We wouldn't keep it. I'm going to gently lick off the race or the lock collar, and then gently get rid of that bearing, so we can go to the other side today and begin to pull these augers out of the bottom of the combine. You'd have your clean grain auger right there, and then this would be your tailings return on what you salvaged and sent back through the small thrasher on the other side. put you on time lapse for that now. Well, we have those burned off, and the race is left, but that will pull through. So, and then we can take it off like with a fine cutting wheel and not get into the shaft. So this side is cleaned up. What we're going to go do now is pull the chains out of the elevators, and then we'll be able to unscrew the other side, unbolt the other side, and pull these augers out as an assembly. Now what we will do now is we will first thing have to do is loosen these bolts on each side of the bearing here in the elevator, and then we have to run this down to loosen the chain so that we can take out the master link. We got to do that on both of them, that one up there, and then when that is loose, we'll take the chains out, and what we'll do then is be able to unbolt this here all the way around here, and that unbolt that right around there, and then that will pull that auger out as an assembly, and then the elevators will be ready for removal if we so desire to remove them first before we take the saddle tank off. Well, it's cut at the top. I decided to do it up there, right or wrong. We're committed now, so let me get you on time lapse and we'll get her out of there. I kind of made a mistake cutting that from the top, but regardless, I got it out. It took me a little bit longer to get it out than I thought it would have, but it's out and it's junk. We'll take that to the scrap today, and we should be ready to pull this auger out, and then the table, or not the table, the clean grain elevator will be pretty well ready to come out. So there we have it. Well, we're cleaned up, got rid of all those rat's nests, and what we'll do now is get rid of this shield, and we will repeat the process on the shorter return elevator to the thresher and see if we can't get that off of there today. So I will report back into you in just a little bit. Well, I cut that one from the bottom, came out a lot easier, and I already got the auger pulled out. So now we will begin to see if we can get the elevator off today. And things are moving along nicely. We'll clean up and get back to it. Now we have everything loose. We had to take down here, we had to take bolts out back there. I didn't record it. We got bolts by the elevator, and we got the rethrash. Should be ready to come off. And now we will see how that works. One rethrash mechanism off. Alright, now we have that ready to lift off. We have one return elevator assembly. Salvage off the combine. Don't know if I'm going to need one, but we have it now. What we are going to work on now is the mechanism that brings the belt down and around the hopper for driving the chopper. It would come from up there where we remove the beater shaft, down along the hopper, make a turn here, go into the jack shaft right here, then it goes through there, comes down along the wall, there's idlers there to keep it from moving and there, hitting things, and then drives the chopper, which is on the butt of the combine. So we're going to get rid of this part. That's a big part. It's got 2 bolts right there, which is part of our saddle tank removal. So, and there, and then down in the frame, down under there. Looks like there's 4 down under there. So we're going to drop this now, and we'll put you on time lapse while we do it. Well, that came off better than expected. One of the mounts up by the hopper up here had vibrated and broke free, so it was needing a repair if it was going to be used. So there's that. If the guy ever needs it, we'll have to keep that piece. And there is the assembly that makes the chopper go around the hopper. On the 510 and the 410, they actually go through the hopper. So that's something that's a little unique to the 300, and the 540 gets it around this way. They didn't go through the hopper in a tube. We are removing the clean grain elevator. We have these bolts. We had to burn off one because it's stripped. But we have those 4 from the flange, just like over here on the return. We now have taken this plate off of the hopper. All the bolts are loose, and we're going to try to remove it now. I'm sure that it is glued around. In 2 pieces. Sorry about the camera work. There we go. We've had good success. We got this loose and unattached from the sidewall. We took the auger assembly out. There was 4 bolts here, the cross auger assembly. And now we have the head of the elevator ready to come off. And we're going to tape that, and we're going to get the saddle tank off today. There's that. That's the head, the drive head for the clean grain elevator. We now have the clean grain elevator ready to remove. Might be able to get it. I don't know for sure. Come out, removing the combine. So they thought that out now. elevator removed. We are now going to remove the saddle tank. That's the part that's got the lead. Back up slowly. Okay, let it down. Well, getting you up to speed while you were charging, we got all of these bolts out along here, all of them out along there, 3 and 3 down under there. Got the concave adjustment lever arms off, got them loose down here and there, and we should be ready to bring this section off where the motor and the cylinder, everything's set. So we're going to get hooked up and see what happens and get you on the tripod. Go straight back. We have the thrashing housing off of the machine. Well, there you have it, YouTube. We got quite far today. Elevators removed, saddle tank removed, front thrashing platform removed. And we're going to call it a day here. We started at 9:30. It's now 3:11. And we took a 30-minute lunch. So I think we did pretty good. Like, share, and subscribe. Come back for more. Hope you're enjoying it. We enjoy making the videos. Hope you're learning something if you're working on your machine. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.